No, yours will be fine. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our Special Olympics New Zealand GMS training for T1 sports results entry. So this is our first of 3 training sessions on GMS, which is our games management system. Some of you are new to this and new to seeing what GMS does and how we use it, and others, this will be a refresher on how we use the system. This is the first time we have done the training like this over the internet in a webinar form. We are piloting it to see how it will work for people and whether this is something we can use moving forward with different aspects of Special Olympics. So GMS was lucky enough to be the first area which we are using this for. This is also being recorded and will be put up on our website hopefully tomorrow. So the benefit of this is, do not panic if you get lost during this training or you don't understand anything or you just can't remember anything that you see. The benefit of having this recorded is that you can go onto it at any time and you can go through the whole thing again, or if there was just one section you weren't sure of, you can fast forward to that section, look at what's on the screen, you can then rewind it, look at it again until you get it. Also, with it being up there, fully aware that clubs aren't doing GMS and you won't be doing GMS at every event. One club may only host a swimming event, so they will have a swimming event this year and then nothing till next year. And so come next year, when you're asked to run GMS at an event again, you will be thinking, what do I do? I can't remember. You'll be able to jump online onto our website and just re-go through this again as a refresher. So I will be asking for feedback to see how people find this form of training, but hopefully it will be good as it's going to always be there available for you. I've muted everyone on the session and we have got quite a few people joining. Just will stop distractions and allow everyone to hear what is being explained. If you have a look on your screen, there is a chat button. So if you do want to ask a question, please feel free to type a question. I have the lovely Gemma sitting next to me, so she is going to be tracking those for me. And at the end of once I've finished going through everything, we will have time for questions and I'll go through these questions. I will also put them in an email and start putting together an FAQ, so those who weren't on the training session will be able to see the sort of questions people have asked, as it may be a question you wouldn't think of. And always, please do remember, no question is a dumb question, because as I said, you might be thinking, wanting to know this question, and another person would have thought, oh, I'm glad they asked, I was thinking the same thing. So please feel free to do it. So, what we are going to look at this evening, we are going to start from the beginning. So this is looking at T1 events and the starting of the results entry. So we're going to look at downloading our local copy of GMS, importing our zipped file of the event into GMS, scratchings that happens on the day. Then we will look at the result entry and report printing for our individual sports. And then again, results and report printing for team sports. And then exporting zip file on an event from GMS, and then any questions. So this is the process you will go through from the start to the end of doing your sports results entry. So if I just escape from here. Okay, so what we're going to start with is importing our games file in a local copy of GMS. So GMS is brought into two separate things. We have GMS National Office. So that is our main database system. So those who work within Special Olympics need to log on to a server, and anything that is done on this main copy of GMS is seen by everyone. So it is the main hub. All the programming, all the registrations, everything is done on this main hub. A local copy is a copy of the GMS, but it is a standalone copy. So that means it can be used anywhere, anyhow, and whatever is done on it does not affect the copy at National Office. The good thing with the local copy of GMS, once you have it downloaded on your computer, you can use it anywhere. You do not need internet to access it. For example, I have used it on a plane before. The local copy of GMS, I've been able to do work on a plane because I'm not affecting anything that is happening in the main office. So what we're going to look at first is importing our local copy of GMS. So you have a copy on your computer to take to the event to put the results in. Please note, GMS does not work on any Chromebooks or Apple-related products like iPads. Special Olympics International have a partnership with Microsoft, so they've designed the system to only work on Microsoft-based products. So if you are going to do it, you do need just a laptop with that Microsoft base. So we have a blank copy of the local GMS loaded into the cloud on the following website. So if we go to www.box.com. Okay, so when I sent the invite out, there were some manuals attached to it. If you don't have a copy of that in front of you, it will be going up with a copy of the webinar on our website, so you will have access to it. So it will have all the passwords and logins there. Okay, so our email address is info@specialolympics.org.nz. Okay, and then we add in our password, which is 5P3C1@L. And then we will log in. Slowly, but we will log in. Okay, so this is our box account, and as you see there, there is only one thing in it, and that is our GMS local file. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this here, and we are going to download. Okay, so this is taking the file out of the cloud and bringing it onto our laptops. As you can see down the bottom, I think it is different for some computers. This is how we run it, so it just shows that it is downloading. Okay. Okay, so once that's there, we're going to select here and we're going to show in folder. This is going to direct us to see where this has been saved on our computer. So we select show in folder, and there it is there. It has been selected in our downloads folder. I always like to have it on my local drive, my C drive. This means it's always going to be there, and if anything goes wrong with our downloads or we lose it, it's safer to be on the C drive. So I'm just going to pick it up and drop it into there. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it in my downloads because I haven't got administrator rights. So because we're on the work laptop, it hasn't worked, but on your home laptop, you'll be able to pick it up and put it into your C drive. You can keep it on your downloads. Just remember that's where it is. So looking at it at the moment, because the file is so big, it is a zipped file, so it has been condensed. For us to access this, we need to unzip it. So there are different systems on different computers that use to unzip it, but for majority of them, all you do is right click. So here we use 7-zip. I know there's also WinZip, and I think there's another one as well, but it should appear on this part here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to extract here. So what it's going to do is going to extract all the files within this condensed file into my downloads folder. So if you have a look here, so there it was with a Z. This is now into a normal folder saying GMS local. If I double click on this, it will come up on all of these. The thing we need is the application. This is the actual GMS application, the actual GMS we will be working on. So an easy way to remember is if you can see there's a little trophy icon and the type is application, this is what we need. So if I'm going to click on this, you will see this message come up. If this message comes up, then you've downloaded it and it's exactly right. Okay, so that's just telling us we're going to connect to the local database. So it's not going to affect anything and it's not affecting our terminal server. So if we connect, this is what you will see. So this is the main page of GMS 7. There is no information on this local copy. You have no people information. On our terminal server copy, we have everyone's information and all their data and everything. But this local copy is just purely for events and results entries, so there's no harm of seeing everyone that's on the system. So once you have opened that, as you can see under games here, there is none. So you actually need a copy of the games of your event you're working at to put into GMS. So your local regional sports coordinator will be sending through 2 zipped files in an email. One will be the event file with the event, and the other one will be the result reports you require to print your results for the event. When you receive that email, you need to save those files to somewhere where you know they are going to be. So whether it be on your desktop or on your downloads, it needs to be somewhere where you need to be. Once you have saved those files and you have your GMS local running, we're going to do a GMS transfer. So if we have a look on this page here, we have a tab here called GMS transfer. So if we hit that tab, it comes up with these options. Because we're importing a file into GMS, we are going to be using the GMS transfer importer. So we're going to import data from another copy of GMS. So this is the data from our national office where I've set up the event and we're going to import it into our local copy. So if we select this, it will automatically take you or ask you where to go to find your events. So my events have been saved here in my downloads. Now, as you can see, it is called a zip file. So when we downloaded the local copy of GMS, we had to extract the zipped file. We don't need to do that with our event file. So here's my event. So we're looking at Special Olympics Manawatu Golf, and the file is full event GMS zipped file. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to run open. So you will then come up to this screen. So this is GMS asking you, what do you want to do? When it comes to importing this game, this here is, the description is just who created it, our organisation, and all the details of the file. Import these games. Each file will only have one game on it, so it will automatically bring up that game. Do check that it is correct and the correct year. So it is Special Olympics Manawatu T1 Golf Event 2020. Do check. I am human and I have sent the wrong events before. So do just double check it's 2020 and I haven't sent you 2019 or even worse 2006. So just double check we have got the correct year. Import method. We want to import the complete games. So it's going to import everything that has been done. Import only these events. We actually want to import all our events. So you need to go down and click every event that is in this section. So if it is a swimming event, you will be clicking on the 20 events that will be run at that event. Import only these delegations. So these are all the clubs that, that will be attending the event. So you need to click all of those. So it only shows exactly what information it is of, exact information of what it is. So all the events and all the delegations will be those who are attending. Groups, ignore that. We do not need to change that. And we do not need to change any of the below. So just leave that as is. We are then going to click run. Okay, and this then is just a summary of what GMS done. So it is exported the games. This is all the certifications it's imported in, all the delegations and all the events. So this is just a summary to show this is what we've done. You can have a quick look at it just to make sure there's no errors come up, but it should, I mean, it's up to you, but yeah, you can if you want. Otherwise, you don't really need to go through exactly everything that's on that page. So we're going to close out of there, and then we're going to hit back. Okay, so if we have a look now at games, where it had 0, it now has 1. I'm going to open up that, and there we go. There is our Special Olympics Manawatu T1 Golf Event for 2020. So once we have got our games in our local copy, we now need to import in the reports that we will need for posting of the results. Again, it is a GMS transfer. So we select GMS transfer, we select transfer importer because we're importing data from the national copy of GMS. And here's my file here, SO Manawatu Golf Result Reports. I'm going to hit open. Okay, again, there's the description, who created it, what the method is. So instead of it being games, this is reports. Okay, import these reports. So these are the result reports that I require for this event. Again, the file will only have those reports that you need. Select each report and run. Okay, so there again is just showing the new reports and what reports have been imported. And so once that's done, those reports are in there now to do your results. So this needs to be done before you arrive at an event. As you can see, you will need internet because you will need to access the box website, the cloud, to bring your local copy of GMS onto your computer. But now that you have this on here and you have your event, you do not need to use the internet. You are good to go to pack up your computer and take it to your swimming pool or the side of the field or your bowling alley. Okay? So once you have arrived at the event, now I am actually just going to pop out of the screen because I have my own copy of GMS I use for trainings. So just bear with me one moment. So again, this is a local copy. I've just created it to use as a training base. I've used it at training sessions before, so it just, instead of having to import all the sports, I've already got them already in here. So I've done all my importing, I've got my game, I've got my report, I've packed up my laptop and my plug, just in case so I can charge it so I don't run out. And I've arrived at my event and I'm ready to go. Always recommend getting to an event a good half an hour before the event starts. Don't start before, as there is a couple of things you have to do prior to the event starting. So the first business you need to look at is on the day scratchings. This happens, people become sick or they can't attend an event for whatever reason it is. So you need to talk to your event manager and ask them at the coaches meeting if any coaches have any scratchings to let you know, to note it down and let you know. Quite often, if people see that you are there with a computer and doing GMS, the coaches will come and see you themselves. But you ensure the event manager is asking for any scratchings. If any scratchings do come through, you open up your event. Okay, so you go to under people tool, you go to see all people in GMS training event. So we've had a scratching for Colin Bailey from the General Club. Colin Bailey has not been able to attend. A little trick, this little icon up here is your search button. So if you select your search button and write Colin, it will take you directly to that person. So you do not need to scroll to try and find them. So here's Colin Bailey, he's from the General Club and he is not attending the event because he has become sick. All we do is we put our cursor over Colin, so it shows the underline. We right click and we go this entrant, scratch. And a line will go through and his status will be scratched. Colin is now being taken out of his bowling doubles and his bowling team. He is no longer at the event. He will no longer show on the results entry page and he will not show on any of the result reports. If, for example, you have someone come in, we've got Malika Balhorn. She's at the event, but she's not going to be competing in the doubles. She's only going to be competing in the bowling team. So if we search her name, there she is. So if we open, instead of right-clicking, we're going to actually click on her name. And this brings up her personal file and the events that she has been entered into. So she's going to be competing in the team, but she's not going to be competing in the doubles. So what you do in this case is you put your cursor over the doubles ensure it's underlined, right click and scratch. So if we look at our status, she's scratched and she's got a line through her name. So she will not show on any of the doubles results entry or any of the doubles results, but she still will be showing in her team and the team results. So instead of completely scratching her from the event, we are only scratching her from one particular event. This is quite common in swimming or athletic races where you have more than one event you're in. You could have 3 individual events in a relay. Throughout the day, the athlete might get tired or just might not want to do anymore. The coaches need to advise the event manager, who will then advise you that Tanya Allen is no longer going to be doing the 50-meter freestyle. So you then just go into Tanya Allen and take her out of her freestyle. So right click, scratch her out of her freestyle. She still will be doing her 25-meter freestyle. So that is if you're just scratching them from one event, and if you're scratching them from the whole event, you do that on this page, right click, this entrant, scratch. So this is the most stressful part of your day, I would say, being a GMS operator. Sometimes you will have no scratchings, and sometimes I had an event where there was bad weather and I had a whole club scratch. So it depends on the event, and then it depends on other conditions as well. It can be a bit frantic, but once things start going, it's smooth sailing. So once we've got that one sorted, one other thing, no one is to be entered on the day of the event. If someone's name is not showing on GMS, then they cannot be entered. Some event managers allow people to join in if there is a spare lane or if there is a spare team. However, their name is not to come onto GMS. They will not be allowed to use it as a qualifying event. They will not be allowed to be awarded, given an award. So it's only those that have been registered that can attend. If they do turn up on the day, if anyone comes up to you and says, I've got Stacey Garrity now wanting to join, you need to direct them to the event manager because you will not be allowed to put them into GMS. So that is just something to bear in mind. So once you've gone through that, another thing that may happen during the day is changing people in the relays, especially with your swimming and athletics. People might swap teams, or if someone has been scratched, they may want to put someone else into a team. So to do your changes to your relays, again, you stay on this. The coach will advise the event manager of what these changes are. So if we look at, for example, William here in the 100-meter relay, William is no longer running in the 100-meter relay. However, Amy is. So if we go to William, again, we're going onto his profile because we are only wanting to scratch one event. We do not want to scratch him from the whole event. All we do is right click and scratched. So William is no longer in the relay team. We save that. We are now going to put in Amy. I do know that she's registered for swimming and we're looking at athletics, but it's just an example. So down into our events. In the blank space, we are going to right click and we are going to go up to add event. Okay. When you add an event, you will only have the event showing for your particular sport. As I've got all the sports on this copy, hence why it's brought up all the sports. but you will only have swimming showing and all the events that will be offered. So here is your AT 4 times 100 metre relay. So you select that. You select the team that Amy is going to be into. So we scratched William out of team 1. So we're going to add her into team 1. And the position. So William, can't remember what he was. So say he was position 1. He now becomes position 1. And you saved that. So all that information will come to you. So you will have information of who was scratched from the team, who was going into the team, what team it is, and what position they are in. So it will come on a piece of paper. So it's just a matter of scratching that one event from the person who has been scratched and then adding in the next person as before, which is just right click, add event, select your event, and there it is. So once we have any relay changes, we've done our scratchings, our events are off, and we've started. Okay, so I'm going to go through each event. So I'm going to start with the individual events. So with individual sports, we're looking at sports like athletics, bowling, swimming, equestrian, golf, and alpine sports. So this result entry and what I'm about to show you is applicable for all those sports. There is a couple of differences with athletics and bowling, but it's exactly the same method for all of them. So we're going to look at athletics first. Okay, so first event of the day. So when you open it, let's go back a step. So when you open it, you will have all the events that are being offered. The counts show how many people are in that event and also how many people have been scratched. So that is showing that we scratched William because he was in that event and now he's scratched. The event number here is the event number order. As you can see, I've only taken 3 events from this games, but it will show numerologically from 1 to whatever. If you want to change, so this comes in order, if you select event tab there and select, it will actually show you, so you can follow your day with the event number. I highly recommend having a program with you so you can track what is on the program to what you have done in your GMS entry. So we're actually going to start with the 100-metre run. So results come in. So results come in from a runner. There are different ways you can receive the results. There are GMS generated timekeeper slips for athletics, track and field, and swimming. Sometimes people have their own slip. I believe some regional sports coordinators have some own slip that they provide the event manager. Also, sometimes they use the actual program themselves. Once you get one for the first race, you will know what you're looking at, but all we're interested in is the final time. So if we open up the 100-metre relay, so in this page here, shows us everyone that's been entered in the 100-metre relay, their gender, what their bib number is, what their qualifying score is. So this is the score that came through on the entry form. This is the division that they have been placed. Final score at the moment is blank because we have not put any results in. And our final lane. So that is the lane that they were entered in. Right, for us to do the results entry, we go to Tools and we go down to Results Entry and select. So the results will automatically go in division order. So we always start females first, then males. The first division, we run from slowest to fastest. So you always run females first and then the males. First thing we do here, so we look at the competition round will be always final for a T1 event, and the division is F1. First thing we need to change is the division status. At the moment, it's not started. We need to select not started and move to finish unofficial. Change the status to finish unofficial? Yes. So that's saying that these aren't official. It isn't a big thing in the tier 1s as compared to the tier 2s. We definitely need to have that unofficial status in tier 2 events for the protest period. For the tier 1s, as far as I'm aware, many events don't have a protest period, but it is good to get into the habit of following the division status. So you will come in and you will receive the results. Now, you are able to sort the results in whatever way you wish. Depending on how you get them, sometimes you get them in lane order, or sometimes you get them in bib number, or by name. So however you receive them, you can change. So if you have final lane, so if you select lane, it will put them in lane order. If it is by bib and you hit the word bib, it will put them in bib order. Or if it's by name, it will put them in name order. So depending on how you receive the results, you can filter to how you are going to get it. So I am going to go final lane. So I've received my scores, and all I'm going to do is type in what I see. So Caitlin got 53, sorry, put my number lock on, that would help. Caitlin received 53 seconds, so 53.00. Sunil, 45 seconds. Madison, she was a bit slow today, so she ran 1:01.232. And Danielle, she ran 30 seconds. So if you have a look here, we've got 53 seconds, 45 seconds, 1:01, 32, and 30 seconds. Once we have our scores in, we need to calculate our places because at the moment, no one has a place. So if we go to Tools and Calculate Places, it automatically puts them in place order pending on their score. So again, if you hit place, it will show you first, second, third, and fourth. If you receive multiple divisions at once, you can move on to the next division to enter your scores. So there's two ways of doing it. You can either use this drop down and move to the next division, or if you have a look on the left-hand side, there is a section saying next division. If you touch that, it will take you. So there are two different ways that you can do it. Again, we want to change our division status to finish unofficial. Change status. And I'm going to go by lane order because that is how my results are coming. And I'm going to put in the scores. So we have 48 second. We have 1 minute flat. We have a 1 minute 32, so 1.3200. And then we have a 31 second. So if we have a look there, we have 48 seconds, 1 minute, 1 minute 32, and 31. If you always pay to check back, so if you just make sure you have got the right times. If you have got it wrong, you just need to select on the time and actually you can just type over again the correct score. So it's easily changed. So I've checked all my scores, they're correct. I'm now going to calculate my places. There we go. I put them into order and there we go. First, second, third, and fourth. Now, once we have put our results in, we need to run our reports so we can use them for posting for coaches to come and have a look, but also for for the event manager and for those doing awards, so they know who they are awarding their ribbons or certificates to. So once you have finished all your divisions, or you can do it division by division, depending on what you find is easier and your time, we're going to print our result reports. So if we go onto our left-hand side, there is a section here called Reports, Results. We are going to select Results. Do we want to save changes before printing? Yes. Okay, so you will come up on this screen. What you will need to do is load the report you require. Now, on the manual is a breakdown of what report is required for each sport. So it is on the manual that will go on the website. To find the report you need, you go to Load Settings. Now, one thing with GMS that is very frustrating is the way their reports are. If you have a look down here for athletics, and all these reports here saying built in. So these reports were built in when they created the software. Unfortunately, they weren't the best reports. So we have actually gone through and created our own, and a lot of the sports we have spoken to the sports councils and asked them the best way to do it, which is fine, but unfortunately, we cannot take these built-in reports out of GMS. We are unable to delete them, we are unable to hide them. So they are there sitting, looking at us, which makes things really confusing. So what I have done in creating the reports, I have broken it down, and again is on the manual, to the sport, what event it is, final results, and a master. If you are doing your result, an easy way to highlight them is to make them what's called a favorite. So if you scroll onto your Word and right click, I'll unfavorite it. So this is what it will look like when you import it into your local copy, just this black writing here. If you put your cursor over it, right click it and mark as favorite, it will be purple and it will move to the top. So every time you load for a new report, they will be up the top and they will be a different color. So that's the easiest way that we can use to find it. So we have just done the results for a 100-meter run. So we are needing our athletics track, final results master. So we're going to highlight that, and then we are going to select. Okay, so here it's got 100-meter runs, rounds to print all because we are only doing a final. We want to select divisions by the divisions, and here is divisions to print. So as I said before, you can print them all off at once, or if you want to do it event by event, you just select the divisions you want to print off. So I'm going to print them all because I've done my results entry for my female F1 division and my male M1 division. If I go down to the bottom right-hand corner, there is a print button. I'm going to hit print, and it is going to bring the results up on the screen. This is another area where you need to check. Make sure you've got the event, the division, correct event, your round, and unofficial. And one really big thing to check, and this is where people will realize when you've missed something, is if you haven't calculated your places. Most common thing is people forget to calculate places. So they go to print, they've got the score, but there's no places. So this is your sort of second check where you have a look, first, second, third, fourth. If there was nothing there, you'd be like, I didn't calculate places. So you just need to close. Go back to results entry, or you can hit the back button up here. go back to the division where you hadn't calculate places, hit your calculate places, then go back to results to print them. So you have got that ability if you do forget, and don't worry if you do forget, I have done it many a time. So once that is all on the screen, you can then print it to whatever printer you have with you. Now I know not everyone will have a printer available. If that is the case, you may need to manually write down the event, the division, who the person is, and the place, or you could have a copy of the program and then write the place next to each person on the program, so the awards can be awarded. When the event has finished, post-event, a copy, the original sports coordinators do send out a copy of all the results. So don't panic if you don't have a printer. Just use a program or a piece of paper so you can get those down, so you can get the awards presented, sorry. Okay, so now we've finished that. So the 100-meter run has finished. Okay, I am then now, so I'm just going to, if you can see up here, if you just keep hitting your back button, it will take you back a screen. If there's anything that needs to save, a button will come up and say save, and it won't let you move back until you have saved that screen. So I am going to look now quickly at the athletics track and field long jump, because it is slightly different, not majorly different. The only difference is, as you know, you actually get 3 attempts when you're doing your field event at athletics. So again, here's my name, my division. We've got nothing here because we haven't got any results in. We go to our under tools results entry page. Exactly the same as before. So we're going to change our division status to finished unofficial. And there we go. We're going to put in our scores for the 3 attempts. And what will happen is GMS automatically calculates the best score to get the final score. So if we start with Caitlin, and she, what are we doing? Long jump. So she jumped 0.25 in her first attempt. She did a 0.23 in her second attempt, and she did a 0.20 in her third attempt. GMS has picked up that her best score was her first attempt at 0.25. Now, also, you will notice on here that the numbers have come in red. This is GMS telling me that Caitlin has gone over her maximum effort violation. We do not need to worry about this in Tier 1 events. And as this training session is only calculating, is only looking at this, we do not need to worry at a Tier 1 event if any of the numbers become red. It only comes into effect at a Tier 2 level. So do not worry about the red. You can just ignore it for now. Now also at some, obviously with 3 attempts, you may foul, and Sunil fouled her first 2 attempts, but she managed to get a clear jump on her 3rd attempt, and she jumped 0.10. If she only comes in with 1 score, you only put in the 1 score she put in, and GMS will pick that up. Also, if due to time restraints, you only have 2 attempts, you just put in the 2 scores that you've received. So it doesn't matter how many scores you put in, whether it's the 3, whether it's the 2, or whether someone has failed on all the attempts. GMS picks up their best score. So just like before with the track events, we go across to our left-hand side under tools and we calculate places. As Madison did not get any attempts. She hasn't got a place come up because her score was 0. What we need to do there is on the gap, we right click and we edit. Okay, here is where we can put in her place. Unfortunately, she was DQ'd on all of her jumps, so we select DQ and save. So as long as the athlete has one successful attempt, that score is counted. If they have no successful attempts, then they were DQ'd and receive a participation ribbon or participation certificate. So once we have all our scores, again, for our next division, we just select next division. Once we have all that, we're going to print our reports. Same process as our track events, where we go to reports and results. Yes, we want to save changes. We are going to load settings and we are using field. So we want athletics field, final results, master. Select that. Again, divisions to print. Select whether you want one or all of them and print. And here is the result report. Again, make sure you've got a place. Everyone's attempts come in and your best attempt. And again, either write it on your program or print it off. So that is the basis for entering and running reports for individual sports within Special Olympics. So the likes of equestrian, I'll just quickly go through this because I know we're running out of time. Again, results entry, you are just putting in the final score you get on the score sheet. Same process for golf. Same process for golf. I'll just quickly look at bowling because bowling is slightly different, but not really. So when you open up your page, you will see that the teams are not done by name. It is actually based on the team. So team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you go to do your results entry, you actually see the athlete's name and the members in each team. So what that means is we want each individual score for each athlete. GMS then combines it all together to give the complete team score. So for example, if I filter team and I put in the team 3 scores, so we had a 96, you can tab across, 65, tab across, and 36. As you can see, the final scores, and this is a handicap competition, as I was doing that, the final score was getting calculated. If I do the next person's score, 85, 56, 22, that's calculated. So we would have changed that to finish unofficial. So and pretend that everything had been done. When we go back to the screen, you actually see those 2 scores have made the combined team score. So that is how you get your final place. So it is still an individual event because you're placing in the individual scores. However, it does combine to make the team. I'm quickly going to go through now, well, not quickly, team results entry. It is slightly different. By team events, this is basketball, bocce, football, and table tennis, and indoor bowls. So I'm just going to look at the basketball. So it is the same process for all those sports. Except for table tennis, there is a slight difference, which I will show you. So basketball, team event. So here we go, we have our teams here. If you go to the left-hand side, there is results entry. If I select that, it's only going to give me the place for the final score. What we need to put into GMS is the scores of each game that has been played. So to do this, again on our left-hand side under Tools, we go to this time, bracketing tournaments. So this part is where I set up the draw following the GMS formatting for the seeds playing who. If we click here, you will see the divisions. So if there's multiple divisions, they'll be all listed down here, and all the current status will be seeded. If I select this here, this shows now all the games that are being played in Division 1 and who is playing who, what the start status is, the start time, and the location, and our source, which is our seedings on who is playing who. So the first game is played, and we are ready to enter the scores. So we're going to select the first game. Okay, so this brings up a separate box. Sorry. So we need to change the score. So team 4 scored 85 points. Team 1 scored 65. We put in the score as in the scorecard that you will receive. We then now need to select match is complete. And then our status, we need to change that from not started to finish unofficial. And then we save. So if we drag that along there, our status is now finish unofficial. If you have a look here at our status here, it shows it's partially been run, this division, and we start to see some points. So in Special Olympics, we work on a points base where it is 3 points for a win, 2 points for a draw, and 1 point for a loss. So as you start building through your scores in each division, this is going to change. So I will go through and select the next game. So we've got Team 3 versus Team 2. I'm going to click on that. Okay, so Team 3 scored 96 points. Team 2 scored 35. We're going to click matches complete, and we're going to change our status to finish unofficial, and then we will save it. So we have a look here. Now everyone has a point. So we just keep going through until we have all the results in for this division. Matches complete, finish unofficial, save. Match 4. Matches complete, finish unofficial, save. Um, 6, 23, match is complete, finished unofficial, and then this one here, so our final results, match is complete, finished, our match is complete. Now, save. If you have a look here, I've made a couple of mistakes going through. I've got one that I've made official and one that I haven't made unofficial. I've left it as is. You can go and fix this. What you need to do is the event that you need to go back into. If you were to click on it, it's all grey and you can't do anything. You need to close that. You need to right click and you need to unadvanced. So at the moment, once you click matches complete, it shows that it is advanced. If you need to change it, you do need to unadvance it. I can now go back in and I can change my status. Same with, once I've done, I can go back in, make sure match is complete and save. Again, I'm going to unadvance this game. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to go finish unofficial and save. Now, if I have a look up the top of my status here, it still says it's partially run. Now I've got all my scores in and I've all got finished unofficial. And you may think, why is it only partially run? They all need to be advanced. So what that is telling me is if I open this up, the match is complete box is not ticked. As soon as I tick that and press save, my event has been finished. Now, you have all the scores in. In Special Olympics, we do not have draws. And as you can see here, we have 2 teams that have finished on 7 points and 2 teams that have finished on 5. If this is ever the case, you need to go to your event manager and advise them this and ask how he is going to allocate the places, whether it is going to be on points differential or whether it is going to be on who out of team 1 and team 3, who won that game. Team 3 won, okay, they will get first place, team 4 will get second. To change the places, all you need to do is select, once you know the places people will be, you just select the line under that place column, right click and put in the place. Right click again, put in your place, place. Now, if you have a division that people don't stay on the same point, so for example, if we had a 7-point, a 5-point, a 3-point, and maybe another 5-point, those who are outright winners or outright have a place, it will automatically bring up the place once you have finished your last game. But if we do get a situation where it is on the same points, your event manager tells you how you are going to make the placings. So once you have finished and all the games complete, you have either it's automatically told you what place your teams are in, or you are or you have been told. We're now going to run our result report. So we are going to go back. We are going to save. So remember how I said when you go back, if you need to save, it won't let you go back. It will tell you that you need to save. So you already know that you're automatically going to be saving your reports. To get your reports, it is slightly different. We are back into our main page of GMS. We are going to reports. We are going to event result reports, results for events. We only use this for team sports. If we select this report, this is a report that I created. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may not have. I only created it, I think, last year, so not everyone may have done it. So the events, we want to select basketball team. If you are just got a basketball event, it will automatically default to that. We want to load our settings and we want to use team final results master. So this is for all our teams results. So this is for basketball, bocce, football, indoor bowls, and table tennis if you are doing doubles. If you select this report, then hit events and press print. There it goes. It will show the team members in that team, just the way the event's been set up. So it shows how many games they played, how many they won, how many they drew, how many they lost. That's how they got 7 points. Because remember, we have a 3-2-1 score. That's their against, that's where they're for, and that's their first place. So again, if you don't have a printer, you either write down or you tell the event manager, these are the placings for the teams. So the difference with teams results entry to individual is you're going through the bracketing page. So if we look at football, we are going through the bracketing tournaments and we are doing them game by game. Now I'm just having a look at the time and I have been talking a bit too much. We have got some questions that people have asked. What I'm going to do is I will copy them down and I will send an email with the question and the answers to you tomorrow. I'm just wary of time. So this was, I hope people understood this. As I said, this is going to be loaded onto our website. Our comms and marketing, my colleague has advised that she will be able to transcript it. So that means you won't have to listen to my voice again. You can actually read what I have said on the recording. A copy of the manuals will also be there. I apologise, I do feel I might have rushed a little bit at the end. So this is why we've got it recorded. You can go back and just have a look again. If you do have any questions after your event, your first point of call is your regional sports coordinator. They are trained. They know how to do this data entry for, they do know how to do data entry for T1 events. If they are stuck on something, they will then come to me and ask the question. And next session will be in April, and we will be looking at Tier 2 team events. So hopefully we will get some of you on here. It is very similar but different, as there's a whole lot of different aspects in regionals we need to look at to prepare for national games. So thank you. Really appreciate you taking time out, listening to my voice for an hour. I knew I could talk, but I've talked, so I apologise. As I said, this is a pilot. This is something new. Please feel free, any questions or any feedback. I am wanting to actually send feedback to those that have registered to see if they feel this is going to work for the future, or if there's any suggestions for the next one that I may have. I think I may need to make the sessions a bit longer looking at this, but this is all learning. So really do appreciate you taking your time out. I know everyone is busy. So hopefully you have learnt some new skills and learned what GMS does and what an awesome piece of software it is and how easy it is to use. And those who have seen it before, I hope it's all refreshed your memories and you're all ready to get out there and run your events. So feel free to contact your clubs and let them know I've done my training session, I'm ready for GMS. Talk to your regional sports coordinator if you just need a little bit more, support. But once you get started, it's a really, really easy system. So thank you, and have a good evening.
Okay.
Thank you.